This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. And, I don't say this often enough, so I'm going to say it now. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Watch the show, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. All right? And if you don't like what you see, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you can tell us what to do better. All right? But anyway, the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, they're on a 4-game win streak. And they're back on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls. They'll play the Chicago Bulls not back-to-back, but back-to-back games. They're going to play them tonight, and then they'll play them on Friday. So this is going to be interesting to see if the Knicks can. They'll probably split, but can they take both? I hope they don't lose both. You know what I mean? But, Tony, what's poppin' with you, my brother? How you feeling?
It's good, Sim. Yeah, definitely still feeling good over this 4-game win streak. The change in the defense. I think we have an opportunity tonight. So, without taking them lightly and taking anything for granted, but keeping that same energy we've been playing with, that same motto we've been playing with.
Right.
I think we could pull a win out. And I believe that to be true with or without Brunson. So.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a big question tonight. Jalen Brunson and how how things are going with Jalen Brunson and if he's going to play. I'm assuming that he's not going to play tonight. You know what I mean? There was a picture that came out of a bunch of Knicks players and their girlfriends or wives, and he had on a walking boot. I don't know if that necessarily means anything, right? Because you can. In the NBA, they'll put you in a walking boot just to be safe, just so that you're not putting pressure on it. Doesn't mean that you necessarily mean that you can't play. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not expecting Jalen Brunson to play tonight. We'll go over the injury report in just a minute. Big Bubba, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's good to see y'all. Back in the, back in the saddle. I know you need a couple of views, so that's why I came on today. Just had to boost it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's probably gonna drop it down a little bit. I think I seen like 20, about 40 or 50 people leave.
Okay, I'll be
right there. You know
what
I'm saying? You see, that's the reason why people leave right there. You know what I'm saying? Because you come in unprepared, and now you got your boss breathing down your neck.
Don't
you know
do
what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and kick you out so you don't get fired.
Wait. So wait. No, I just wanted to say, though, it's good to see you, Tony. I just want to say, I think the Knicks have a good opportunity to really take both these games. Got to start off with this game first. I hope Brunson doesn't play because he's, I'd rather him rest and be ready for Friday versus putting him out too soon. But I think, like I said, I'm going to go before I get fired. I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, clearly this means he ain't coming back because he's trying to get his everything he had to say out right now. So that clearly means he is not coming back.
I am coming. So I'll be back in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
5 minutes tops.
Yeah. We'll probably see him from his car with a pink slip. You know what I'm saying? That guy. I don't know about that guy sometimes.
Oh, man. Priorities.
I don't know about that guy sometimes, man. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and run through the injury report. Jalen Brunson is questionable for the Knicks tonight. Obviously, you've seen what happened in previous game. Davion Mitchell came down on his ankle, Brunson immediately knew he couldn't go, left out the game. That was the last that we've seen from him in that game. The Knicks pulled the game out for their 4th straight win, 3rd straight at Madison Square Garden. Right? But then the question, of course, is if Jalen Brunson doesn't go, who steps up into that starting position? And then who is elevated into the 9-man rotation? Tony, what's your thoughts on that right there?
Oh, I'm conflicted. You know, part of me feels like Derrick Rose can be a stabilizer in that starting unit. He doesn't necessarily have to get a lot of minutes to play, but just to kind of get us off to a sustainable start.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there move on accordingly. Part of me wants IQ to finally get the opportunity, which we have yet to see him be inserted in the starting unit as a point guard.
Right.
But I know what that takes away from the bench. So, team wise, I think we're better off having him in the second unit. I don't know if I like what Deuce brings, but I don't know if what he brings is necessarily a necessity against the Bulls, being down a point guard, possibly 2.
Right. Possibly two.
And I much rather bring in another ball handler. So my pipe dream, I guess, would be putting Grimes in at the point. I shouldn't even say pipe dream, but bringing Fournier back into the starting unit at the 2, RJ Randle, Mitchell Robinson. And the reason I say Fournier is he was the first guy cut, first guy, demoted.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how it's usually a cycle with Tibbs. I expect him to be the first guy back when the opportunity presents itself. So yeah, and we could use shooting.
Okay. I think I'm thinking it's going to be quickly. Right. I feel like Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish are like almost as good as gone from the basketball team at this point. And, that's kind of what I feel. Tomorrow is when newly signed players who was newly signed players can be traded, and so I think talks are going to really, really pick up then. I think it's going to be quickly, and then Derrick Rose step up into quickly spot. I think it's going to be that. Because Derrick Rose, I mean, Tom Thibodeau trusts him. There's no doubt about it, but I don't see that he would take him from not playing in however many games and then elevate him right into the starting lineup. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he, and maybe he would. Maybe he trusts him enough to do that. But I think he would probably give quickly the chance, and then just let Rose take his, step in for Emmanuel quickly on the bench. You know what I mean? And then Rose would play Quickly's minutes, maybe, probably, or I don't know. Before Rose went out the lineup, he was only playing 15 minutes a game, and then Miles McBride took those minutes. So I don't know if he would play all of Quickly's minutes. He'd probably still come in and play 15, at the most 20, but Quickly would then get, I think, extended minutes, or probably Quickly would, end up getting 30 to 35 minutes, something like that. So that's going to be something to watch, you know what I mean? And to see how Tom Thibodeau decides to go with that starting lineup. Emmanuel Quickly. I mean, I think it's going to be Quickly, right? So talking about, let me finish going through Chicago's injury report. right? Lonzo Ball is out. Alex Caruso is probable, and Ayo is questionable, right? So I think, as long as Alex Caruso plays, which I believe he will, then he would probably be in the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. That's what they went with in their previous game against the Dallas Mavericks. All right, so looking at the projected starting lineups for the Knicks, for me, I'm projecting Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. And for the Chicago Bulls, Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic. Right, that's what I'm looking at to probably what I think might be the starting lineup. Tony, any differences, or are you going? I don't know. Did you say Rose or did you say? What are you going with?
If I'm guessing, man, I think it's gonna be Rose. I think it's more likely to be Rose starting. I think because of how you stated, Tibbs trust them, their history, things of that nature. I would think it's Rose, and I think you could do it and still give them 12, 15 minutes, and it still kind of work out.
No, I see how you could do that. I mean, it would actually work out pretty good. You know what I mean? You bring him in, you give him, he starts the game and he plays 6 minutes or 4 minutes or something like that, and then quickly comes in and plays, until sometime into the second quarter, and then Rose, comes back in and plays the remainder of the second quarter, and then
I think that works the best
quarter,
because it doesn't change Tibbs's current rotation that much.
That's
true.
true.
What I mean? It keeps everything. Like Rose was literally the only change.
That's true.
And obviously the minute fluctuation, because Brunson was averaging 30-something minutes, and I don't think Rose will get that. So, but what I mean, just to keep it consistent, I think that fits the best.
And that could fit the best, just to keep it consistent, right? So that you keep your bench unit playing together, and you're not adding too many changes to the bench. Although Rose was playing on the bench too. I don't know how much him and Deuce played together, though.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 games he ain't played. You know what I mean? 4 games he hasn't played.
Yeah, he hasn't played. So him and Deuce haven't really played together much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he was in the starting lineup, it would keep that bench unit the same with Quickley, Deuce, so on and so forth. I mean,
and Brunson didn't play with Deuce that much either. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I think that makes the most sense. I think Tibbs doesn't have to change anything.
Right. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting and telling. Right? I mean, the past few games have really been telling because when Obi went out, Cam didn't play. Right? He elevated Jericho Sims into the rotation. You know what I mean? Didn't think about Evan Fournier. So I think that was pretty telling. And now you got another guy down, and who he elevates into that lineup, I think, says a lot about, either what he feels about a couple of guys or what he knows from the organization. And it's like, nah, don't throw those guys out there because we don't need them. We don't need them to get hurt. We don't need Cam. Cam would get hurt. We don't need Cam or Fournier to get hurt because we're going to move them. And, the Knicks like to strike early when they make some moves. You know what I'm saying?
And this could be a showcase in a sense, a homecoming, obviously, in a sense, or in 2 senses, you know what I mean? Literally and to the team, and a showcase to the team as well. Because I tell you, I don't know how the Bulls front office feels about bringing Rose back,
Right.
but I know how Bulls fans feel.
Oh yeah.
And if you're, in the middle of potentially rebuilding, and you want to damper that blow to the fans,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, bringing Rose back in some capacity would definitely do that.
Right. And yeah. I'm convinced that when it's all said and done, Derrick Rose is going to retire in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, some way, he's going to retire in Chicago. Big Bubba, you're back. I see you still got the orange wall behind you, which means you probably didn't get fired unless you're just finishing out your last day on the job. But Jalen Brunson is, I'm thinking, not going to play tonight. That's what I think. He's questionable, but I'm thinking he's not going to play tonight. It would be the smart move for him not to play. Who do you think gets elevated into the starting lineup?
What, Tony? You're muted. It's going to be Emmanuel quickly for me. I would like Emmanuel quickly just because to me, the defense purposes of him, I think it's probably going to be like 15. I think DeRozan might get 15, 18 minutes, and then Quickly's probably going to get the rest. I like the way Quickly's been playing defensively. And Rose, he's just a playing guy, man. He knows Tom Thibodeau's playbook from the back of his hand. It's second nature, so he could come in anytime. I think Quickly would be the best, just around defensive wise, switching wise, and Quickly has the wingspan, so I'm going with Quickly.
Okay, all right, and so you think Derrick Rose to be elevated into the 9-man rotation?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, good. Let's talk about some of these matchups then. Because for me, I think he elevates Quickly. So you got Quickly, Grimes, Barrett, Randle, Robinson, and then Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Vucevic for the Chicago Bulls. All right. As far as, when I look at this lineup, as far as the defensive matchups, the way that I see it, I don't see there being a difference in the defensive matchups from the way the lineups are put on the screen. I think Quickly, if he's starting, or whoever the starter is, Quickly or Rose or Deuce, guards Caruso, Grimes on Zach LaVine, RJ Barrett on DeMar DeRozan, Randle on Patrick Williams, and Robinson on Vucevic. And I actually think it goes vice versa. Maybe you might see some DeMar DeRozan on Julius Randle. They've done that in the past, but it'll probably be Patrick Williams. There'll be some switching. Zach LaVine, I'm sure, will probably guard Grimes. I think it's going to go vice versa. Like right now, the way that you see it on your screen, they're going to go back and forth that way. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be the same way across the board. To me, on the Knicks side, it doesn't really make sense to switch anything pretty much. Everything across the board should be as it is when it comes to the defense tonight.
Yeah. Tony, your thoughts on just the defensive matchups, then we'll get into breaking down those matchups.
I agree with you 100%. I think the way you mentioned it is how it's going to go on both sides.
Yeah, I think so. Let's talk about the Quickly and Caruso matchup because, Alex Caruso, while he doesn't put up star-studded numbers, he's always he does all the little things that you need a player to do. He plays defense, you know what I mean? He can do just about anything you need him to do on the floor. He's a glue guy. He really is a guy that can help elevate your basketball team.
Did he make an all-defensive team yet?
I don't know if I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But
the Lakers could sure use him right now.
They sure could. But what do you think about that matchup there? Can Caruso give Quickly trouble on the defensive side where, Caruso is really guarding him well, which maybe troubles Emmanuel Quickly a little bit? What do you think, Isaiah?
Oh, wow. You picked me over Tony. Thank you. This is a big day to me. Oh, man. Thank you.
Well, Tony was having a conversation, so
Oh.
and unlike you, he mutes his microphone so his conversations don't come over the air. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I like to be transparent with the I like to be transparent with the people, man. Our people.
Oh, okay.
No, so for me, Sim, I think this will actually be a big matchup for man quickly. This Alex Caruso has been one of the. I'll say he's probably been one of the best guard defenders in the league in the last couple of years. He was a big catalyst for the Lakers defense on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And they surely missed him definitely that offseason when he got paid. I think Quickly's going to have a tough time tonight. I think Quickly can't play loosey-goosey like he usually does and play sloppy.
But he hasn't been playing that way lately.
No, he hasn't. But
he hasn't been playing that way.
No, he hasn't. But this is one of the best. This is one of the best perimeter guards in the league. So what I mean by that, I mean quick defenders. I think Quickly can't just Quickly just has to play smart, play efficient basketball. What I mean by efficient, I mean no stupid turnovers, no just careless passing. Because Alex Caruso can definitely steal the ball and dunk him on transition.
Yeah, no doubt. Tony, your thoughts about it? Quickly and Caruso.
So I was laughing a little bit earlier when we started talking about the injury report, because Caruso is a Knick killer. You know what I mean? His stats against the Knicks are probably a lot different than his season to season averages. And then he's a headsy guy and a feisty defender. He don't let his size determine where he's gonna be a pest or a disruptor. The matchup individually, I believe, Quickly can win. But that doesn't take any threat away from him as far as you got to punish him, because he's a guy that will sneak into a double team, blindside double team, get a little steal, a deflection or something. So if Randle's being doubled off of Quickly, you got to find Quickly, you got to punish him. But overall, individually, I think Quickly can win the matchup. It's going to be those little things, those like loose balls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those deflections, those 50-50 plays. You can't let him come up with those.
Right.
Because, that'll kill us.
And that's what he does. Those little things, right? He does all of those little things that hurt you, and Quickly's got to try to match that.
Timely, too.
And
then I also was laughing. I know you're going to get into the bench, but obviously Kobe White is going to have to be playing, even though he's not been playing, and he's another Knick killer. Like, it don't matter what he's doing throughout the year. He plays against the Knicks and decides to look like a all-star.
Yeah, no doubt. Andy, thank you for your comment. He said Isaiah doesn't have a headset, or he got extra bass in his voice. Andy, Isaiah is maturing. He got a girlfriend now, so girlfriends have a habit of making you mature a little bit. You know what I mean?
First of all, I've always talked like this. I don't know where this is coming from. I've always been a man. I need y'all to know that. She didn't make me a man. She made me a better man.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, somehow, some way, certain things happen and you start to mature a little bit.
Oh,
get a little bit of hair on your chest or something. Just saying. So
this is why I hate telling you stuff. Well, no,
you didn't tell me nothing. What are you talking about? I'm just commenting on what Andy said.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Grimes and Zach LaVine, because this is one of my matchups to watch for the night, right? Because Quentin Grimes obviously is the Knicks' best defender in that lineup, in that starting lineup. And this is what people, this is the reason why you have him there. Zach LaVine is one of the best scorers in their lineup. He's not the top scorer in their lineup. That's DeMar DeRozan. And I got the wrong numbers for Quentin Grimes, so I'm going to take that back off the screen, all right, because I got the wrong numbers up there for Quentin Grimes. He doesn't average 14.5 points per game. Maybe one day he will, but he doesn't. But that matchup right there, I think is key. I think it's one of the key matchups of the game because you don't want Zach LaVine to go off. He's averaging 21 points per game. You know what I'm saying? He can score in the mid-range. He can score at the basket. He can shoot the three. He can come off screens. He can do a lot of things. He can play in transition. Grimes has got to deal with Zach LaVine, one of the, he's already guarded some premier guards in the league. But tonight, you need, without Jalen Brunson there, you need Grimes to really come through and make it rough for Zach LaVine tonight. And he's got to make it tough for him. You know what I'm saying? Tony, go ahead. I see you shaking your head. I'm going to try to get these stats right with Quentin Grimes.
So this is where, just to double back, my ideal lineup would come into play. And that's moving Grimes to the 1, reinserting Cam, RJ. You know what I mean? I'd much rather have Cam guarding LaVine than Grimes in this particular matchup. I agree. This is going to be a true testament for him because LaVine is a guy who can play above the rim, is a guy who could light you up from outside. You know what I mean? He could, like, he has the full offensive package, and then he has the size advantage. You know what I mean? Over Grimes. So, Grimes is really gonna have to. He's gonna have a challenge on his hands tonight. I think he could. He's up for the task. He's usually outsized for the most part anyway, but usually there's an aspect like I'm saying, LaVine is a rare talent where he can kill you above the rim, below the rim, or inside the paint, outside the paint. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like you could focus on one particular area on LaVine and say, all right, if I stop him from 3, we got this. Or if I keep him out the paint, we got, like, you got to do everything. you know what I mean? So it's going to be a tough task.
It's sorry to break it to you, brother, but I don't think Cam's playing for the Knicks ever again.
That's fine. I was just speaking on ideals.
I always love your ideas, Tony. I always do. Always the best ones.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the matchup, Zay? Quentin Grimes and Quentin Grimes and Zach LaVine.
It's gonna be an interesting one. I think Quentin Grimes. By the way, I just want to let you know I was right. By the way, I was right. Quentin Grimes is gonna start. I said it during the offseason. He was gonna beat Evan Fournier. You ain't want to believe me, but it's okay.
I didn't say it wasn't. I said to start the season, Evan Fournier was gonna start, and
you don't look back on the table.
I said Evan Fournier will be the starter, and then we'll see what happens from there. Exactly what I said, and that's exactly what happened. Evan Fournier was the starter, and then
to your credit, Isaiah, both of you are correct.
Yeah,
but to your credit, Isaiah, Grimes wasn't available to start the season.
That is true. 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 Don't give him nothing to run with, Tony.
see, Tony be knowing, but Tony, I understand. Tony, I understand that should be, and I understand it. But no, Sim. So for me, I think Quentin Grimes has been really getting in his groove defensively. I know it took him a little while because of the whole foot thing, but he's been looking a lot better. He's been very active. It's going to be a tough task because even though Zach LaVine's not having his best season, not like last season, but he's still, again, Zach LaVine's easily a 25 point scorer in his league. Still one of the best dunkers in the league. So still one of the best drivers in the league, finishers. So he's going to have a tough time, but I believe that Quentin Grimes is up to the task, and I think he can definitely hold him to a solid scoring night tonight for Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think he can make it. My hope is that he makes it tough, and he's going to get his points most likely, but he makes it tough, and it's an inefficient 21 points. He's averaging 21.8 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4.1 assists per game. Zach LaVine is. All right, he's shooting the ball 43.4% from the field and 35.8% from the three-point line. Not as good as he was last year or the season before that. Last year, he shot 47% from the field and 38.9% from the three-point line. The year before that, he shot 50.7% and 41.9% from the three-point line. Right? So his scoring average has gone down from 27 to 24 to 21. But this is early in the season. We'll see if he picks up his shooting. He's taking just about the same amount of shot attempts as he did last year. The year before that, he took 19, but obviously DeMar DeRozan came to the team last year, so he lost some shot attempts. But that's going to be definitely one of the matchups to watch tonight. I think that's one of the matchup to watch. And then you have the key matchup for tonight, I think, is RJ Barrett and DeMar DeRozan. Right? And I don't know what Isaiah is doing over there, but he's making a lot of noise. You know what I mean? See, there you go. No show etiquette for the guy. No show etiquette. He's on his computer taking down all the screens that he doesn't want his boss to see. That's what he's doing. All the screens all the tabs that he shouldn't be on, he's taking it down before his boss steps in the room. But RJ Barrett and DeMar DeRozan, I see some people in the chat say this could be a rough night for RJ Barrett. And it could be, right? Because, DeMar DeRozan is the mid-range. He's the new mid-range king in the NBA. That used to be Melo. Now it's DeMar DeRozan. You know what I mean? And, he's got an all-around basketball game. He's not shooting as well this season as he was last season, but he's got an all-around basketball game now. He's still shooting well from the field. He's not shooting as well from three as he was last season. Incredible footwork, great mid-range game. It's going to be tough for RJ Barrett tonight. But this is my key matchup of the night. RJ Barrett and DeMar DeRozan. RJ Barrett's averaging 18.9 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 40.8% from the field, 28.8% from the three-point line. And let me get this back here. And 78% from the free throw line. DeMar DeRozan, 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.8 assists per game. He's shooting 50.7% from the field and 31.4% from three. And he's shooting 89.1% from the free throw line. What's RJ Barrett got to do tonight, Tony?
No, number one thing he's going to have to do is be efficient on the offensive end and be a threat against DeRozan on that side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of, I don't know if you even get him in foul trouble or what, but you know what I mean? You got to have to put up a fight on the offensive end first. Defensively, you're going to have to be smart for the most part. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about switching that lineup, switching that matchup, and putting Grimes on DeRozan, and RJ on LaVine? And I say that because not that I'm comfortable with RJ defensively to say he could stop LaVine, but if he plays with the same type of IQ that he's going to need to play with against DeRozan, I think he has a better chance against LaVine, at least at disrupting him because of the height. Where same disadvantage for Grimes, but Grimes is not worried as much about that above the rim, and now and Grimes is already a high basketball IQ guy. So staying on your feet and falling for the fakes and the footwork, I think he would be more accustomed to doing that than, chasing LaVine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's my worry with RJ chasing LaVine.
I get it.
That's my worry there.
I feel like he might have some lapses, but he's less likely to get into foul trouble and then not be available for us.
Because, I remember, and, obviously this was maybe like 2 years ago when RJ had to guard LaVine, and, he was going, he was going backdoor like crazy. I was like,
yeah.
And Vucevic was finding them, bomb. I'm like, come on,
those
RJ.
are the lapses. Those are the lapses I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think for me, I think RJ he takes on these challenges because DeRozan is one of his heroes, one of the players that he looks up to.
That's true.
And I remember the game.
Watched him growing up.
Yeah, watched him growing up. I remember the year when we had Kemba, the first game with Kemba, and we had that playoff game, that first game, and he guarded him on the last shot. And I remember the interview when he said he knows what he was going to do because he's seen him do it his whole career. Now, granted, like Sim said, if he knew DeRozan, he liked to go back door. He kept getting killed on the back doors. But RJ, one thing I don't like about RJ, he for some reason always sleeps when it comes to players good on the back door. So we have to be more aware of that. But the good thing tonight, though, Sim and Tony, is that we can pack the paint tonight. This team is not godly. I'm knocking on wood. Because this team is not a good three-point shooting team. They get a lot of their baskets from the mid-range. Watch tonight. They go like 18.
I mean, they shoot, but they're still shooting like 36%. So
Kobe White and Caruso. Watch.
Yeah, I ain't even messing around with it.
But I think RJ's ready for the matchup tonight, and I think he's gonna match him offensively because these last couple. I'm knocking on wood again. RJ's been efficient. RJ's been shooting pretty well.
Yeah.
For the most part, he took a couple crazy shots, but they were double teaming him when Randle got himself ejected.
Yeah. But you know what I think happens. Whoever's the hottest, that's who Grimes will eventually be on. No matter who he's guarding. If DeMar DeRozan is getting off, then it's okay. We're gonna put Grimes on him. If Zach is getting off, then Grimes will be on Zach. I think it might end up working that way. Whoever with DeMar DeRozan, whoever's guarding DeMar DeRozan is gonna have a tough job. You may even see some Randle on him, depending on what lineups are on the floor, because Randle's guarded DeMar DeRozan before.
What happens if the guy that's going off is already being guarded by Grimes?
I mean, then I guess it's already being guarded by Grimes. I don't know. I mean, maybe you try and see. So, okay, well, maybe RJ has it tonight. Let me see what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? Those are going to be the two guys. Those are going to be the two guys that carry the scoring load for them. Then you got Randle and Patrick Williams, right?
Redemption game.
Say that again.
Redemption game.
You mean from Randle getting ejected?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he needs to have one. He needs to have one. You know what I mean? He shouldn't have got ejected. Now, I did watch the video back, and he did get pushed in the back, right?
You saw how he landed?
I saw how he landed. He got pushed in the back. His head hit the dude's knee and all of that. I would have been upset, too. I'd have been hot. You know what I'm saying? But he's got to just know to, control it. Like, my team needs me in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a good game. I got to control it. I can't get myself kicked out, especially now. Brunson is out for any amount of time. You can't afford to lose Randle, too. If the Knicks would have lost, when Brunson went out, if the Knicks would have lost that game, Randle would have caught way more heat than he actually did. He got some heat from people, right?
I spoke about it, Sim.
But
that was the preference. That was my preference. I'm only going this hard because if we would have lost, this is how everybody would have been approaching it.
Yep.
Man, Tony, you're not lying. You're talking about if the Knicks would have if the Knicks would have given her that big lead, and let me tell you something, Tony. This would have been the start of the It would have been crazy deadline. I'll say that with Randle because right now, I believe
for the fans it would have been. For the fans, it would have been. I don't know, not for the organization, but for the fans would have been bugging out.
But I feel like this though, Sam. I feel like regardless of how we feel sometimes, I bet the front office is feeling pretty good about how Randle is right now with the fans. I think nobody can complain. I mean, we're playing average basketball, but we're still in games. We still have a hope to make the playoffs right now. I think we're like 7th or 8th
Sixth
or whatever.
Seed. We're in the 6th seed.
Oh, we're the 6th seed. Oh, look at that. Seed. So we're in a good position. So to me, they would hate for this to be that would be a distraction that they would hate. If we would have lost that game and Randle kicked himself up. Because even, I was watching this game with Garrett and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? We're up big. Like, let it go. We're up big. You got almost 30. I think he had 30 points.
Yeah, 27.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Those are the things that's like, your basketball IQ has to be better than that, man. It has to be better than that. And it's like, sometimes it's like, it kills.
And when I was watching, I knew the tech was coming, right? Because he went up to the dude, to the ref, said something, and the ref ignored him and let him say what he was going to say, right? But he didn't get a response, and so he went up again and said something. He was trying to get the tech. I could tell he was trying to get, at least I felt like he was trying to get the tech.
He was trying to get the tech because I seen the same thing too. I seen when he was coming up the court, literally, like you said, I seen the referee ignore him. And then you see Randle getting closer and closer. And I'm like, dude.
I know, I was like, yo, I hope he's not going to bump the ref.
I'm like, dude.
You seen Mike, who's that? Mike Brown? Who's the coach on the other team? He said to the ref, you going to let him talk to you like that?
Right. I understand why he was upset because, he got pushed in the back, then fell down and, hit his head, but, he's got to keep himself in the games. And now it's even more important that he keeps himself out there on the floor. He controls his emotions and keeps himself out there on the floor.
But so here's my thing with that too, is that, yes, and Randle, I fully get it. You did get fouled. You got pushed in the back. But you also got to remember that the refs probably thinking like this. You guys are up big. Sam, the refs know basketball. The refs know that
I get that. But I watched the replay back, and he literally pushed him in the back, which is what made him fall. That could be an injury. So there is no we're up big, we're gonna let fouls go, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm just saying, and I understand where Randle was coming from, but it was just, to me, it's just about, sometimes we all know when you're up big, the refs let some things slide. When it's like they know you're going to win the game.
Well, my thing is, I would have been all right with him getting that tech.
Yeah, no, the first tech, yes.
Right? I would have been all right with him getting the tech. You know what I'm saying? Because he, was pissed off. Felt like it was, he wasn't getting the calls, and was getting calls, and he was traveling every time he was in the lane. You know what I'm saying? So, I would have been okay with just the tech. I wasn't happy that he got himself kicked out the game. But also, like we said, Tony, on the call, somebody got to bring that kind of fire, because we don't have a lot of guys with fire. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be able to control the fire a little bit, but we need someone to bring that kind of fire. So, he's got to control his emotions, bring the fire, control his emotions, and not get kicked out the games. I don't expect him to get kicked out of these games while Jalen Brunson is not there. I'm not expecting that to happen. I expect Julius Randle to win his matchup.
Yeah, I expect him to have a dominant game tonight. Shout out to Ernest E in the chat. He says, I felt like Randle's stat line tonight is going to be something like 50, 14, 9 with 5 turnovers.
I'll take the 5 turnovers.
In a win, I'll take it.
Listen, if he's going to get 50, 14, and 9, I'll take the 5 turnovers. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Has Randle ever scored 50?
Yeah, I think he did against Ernest Cantor, right? Wasn't that the big thing?
No, I think the highest he scored was 46 or something.
40 something. 40
he's taking himself out of games where he possibly could have scored 50.
Twice.
Right? Exactly. Well, maybe he had a chance to score 50, taking himself out of those games. You know what I
I
mean?
read somewhere where he said him in the front office or him and the coaching staff have a bet against his technicals, like a over under on his technicals.
On Randle's technicals?
Yeah,
Okay.
with Randle. So
With
you know what I
Randle.
mean?
Okay. So
Yeah,
so that was
yeah,
their way of addressing it.
yeah.
All right. We'll see if it works. I'll tell you what though. And I mentioned this a couple of streams ago. Randle has become more I forgot the word that I used last time, but you know, he's a little more his shot is a little bit smoother.
You said soft to touch,
softer touch.
and after you said that, I was seeing it. I seen it in the next scene. I was like, oh, that's what Sid was talking about.
Yeah, his
He's
shot
getting bouncing and rolls.
he's getting bounces and rolls. His shot is a little bit softer. He's mastered the strong dribble to the right and then pull up and getting that foul. Bumping with sometimes he bumps it with the shoulder, sometimes it's a rip through, but either way, he's really mastered that boom boom and pull up and getting that foul. Now he's doing that like 3 or 4 times a game. Sooner or later, teams are going to catch on and figure out how to counteract it. But right now, he's doing that a few times a game, and it's really working out for him.
Sim, he's also doing that thing you hate.
I know.
He's doing the rip. He's doing the rip through. But it's part of that. It's part of that.
It's part
you know
of
what I mean?
it, right.
Because he's trying to draw that foul. He's waiting for the whistle. He don't see the whistle, and now he's like, should I just throw it up or should I find somebody? And luckily it's not resulting in as many turnovers as
right
normal.
Yeah, the jump passes is still killing me though. The jump passes are killing me. Like every time I'm like, and he does that jump pass 4, 5, 6 times a game. You know what I'm saying? It's still killing me, but it hasn't hurt him so far. But there's gonna come a time that he's gonna do that jump pass, and hopefully it's not in a big moment.
Let it not be tonight.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's not in a big moment. Mitchell Robinson and Vucevic. That's a matchup that a little bit concerned about. Vucevic has the ability to play in the post, shoot it from the mid range. I don't, he's crafty, kind of crafty around the rim. I don't want him to get Mitchell Robinson in foul trouble. The Knicks, Mitchell Robinson has shown how much he's needed for this basketball team. Vucevic, 16 points, 10.7 rebounds per game. Your thoughts on that matchup, Isaiah?
Yeah, for me, Mitch, he's gotten better, but he still struggles with this very skilled European men when it comes to just them having the ability. What I say, man?
Just only the European players.
No, because he does very well against he does well against other centers usually for the most part. And this is when some of these centers are like more perimeter orientated, he has sometimes struggled. Like he struggled. He struggled against what's his name, the kid from Orlando. He's doing really good right now. Bo. Bo. He's like he struggles with those kind of guys. But when it comes to Vucevic, man, he always Vucevic always ends up having like 27 points against us, he's 10 rebounds. So I really hope that it's not one of those cases tonight. I know Vucevic has been struggling pretty much this whole season. And, I'll tell you what though, man. Sometimes people complain about the Knicks not going all in, man. There's a Chicago Bulls are the prime example of going all in, and it's not really working too well for them. When it came to them just trading all their players. Well, I didn't even trade that many players.
Well, the thing is Lonzo Ball not being there.
Hey, so I got to say this too, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was one of the people that wanted Lonzo. I did.
I did too.
Yeah, we might have dodged a bullet with that one.
I did too.
All three of us wanted him. But no, so yeah, I think Mitch is gonna have a tough time. For him, just again, watch out for those fakes and listen, man, just keep being aggressive on the board. I think he's stronger than Vucevic, and I know he has a better rebounding percentage. He should be a better rebounder than Vucevic. So
it's hard it's hard to say. Mitchell Robinson right now is averaging like 8.9 rebounds a game. Vucevic is averaging 10.7.
Okay, well, dang. I just need Mitch to just gobble up those offensive rebounds and just box out and then play his game. I think he'll be fine.
Part of that is because Mitch is an offensive rebounder, not as much a defensive rebounder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hello? Yeah, I'm live now. Now I'm talking to Kareem. He says barbecue chicken.
Okay.
Kareem.
And I agree.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Who's
I'm just joking. I'm
barbecue
not talking
chicken?
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking to Kareem.
No, Mitchell Robinson. He gonna eat tonight. Mitchell Robinson's gonna eat tonight.
I hope so. I mean, sometimes it's sometimes. Well, okay, we're quickly out there. Hopefully, with Quickly and Robinson, right? They have maybe a little bit. Maybe they have a little connection. Quickly can find Robinson in some alley-oop situations. Most of the time when Robinson is really, a lot of times it's when the Knicks are shooting the ball bad, right? Because he's able to grab those offensive rebounds and get a lot of putbacks. So if Robinson is cooking, if Mitchell Robinson is cooking tonight, I want it to be because Quickly and Barrett and Grimes are finding him through penetrating to the basket and finding to him, or, getting him the lob off of pick and rolls and things like that. Not because the Knicks are missing. He's got to stay clean, stay out of foul trouble. That's going to be the thing right there. Stay out of foul trouble. He shouldn't get. I mean, with Quickly, Grimes, and Barrett. Well, I mean, RJ's defense has been, you know what I'm saying? But with Quickly and Grimes on the perimeter playing defense, if Quickly is the starter, that should help the Knicks defensively with the first unit, right? Because the first unit, going into last game, they were actually 8th in the league in offensive rating, the first unit, but like 27th in defensive rating, right? I wonder how much that changes with Quickly out there. Now, that doesn't mean that Quickly's going to start over Brunson, so people can erase that out of their minds. For the entire time that Brunson is out, Quickly can drop 30 points a game. He's not going to start. All right? You can guarantee that. You know what I mean? Brunson is still going to be that starting point guard. But I wonder how much that the defense changes with Quickly out there in lieu of Brunson. Tony, what do you think?
I'm sorry. Just repeat the question.
How much defense the defense changes with that starting unit with Quickly out there instead of Brunson?
I mean, to be honest, it should only help. I can't see it getting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Getting better.
I mean, a lot, and to be honest, like, none of these guys are the starting point guard. So you know what I mean. Like this should be like, if anything, Quick should play even better against whomever is out there because they're second unit, third unit. You know what I mean, people. So I think the defense should be fine. I'm not worried about Quickly so much on Caruso. If Quickly starting, I'm more worried about where we're getting the firepower off the bench than how he fits in the unit or what his defense is going to do or anything like that.
Right. I mean, I think the firepower off the bench, if Quickly is the starter, it's going to have to come from Rose. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
even that is kind of unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though that's kind of what he does, you know what I mean? Like, he's an offensive guy more than anything else. It's still just like, I mean, if anybody understands Tibbs and, you know what I mean, stay ready and
it's
good role model for, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess that makes the most sense.
Yeah,
he should be able to do it more than anybody else.
Because, I mean, who else is that? Deuce ain't going to do it. Sims and iHeart, they not going to do it. So
Obi gone.
Obi's
Reddish is out.
Reddish is out. Fournier's, It's got to be Rose. Who else gonna do it?
Hey, Sim, they might
Got
call
to
you
be
up.
Rose.
But my point was, I mean, and it's cool because it's not like Brunson was out here giving us 30, nor was quickly off the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think you're right. I think that those are the two guys that could definitely supplement Brunson's offensive input, maybe add to the defensive, and Rose should be able to duplicate Quickly's input. You know what I mean? He's averaging what, 10 points? You know what I mean?
Quickly,
So
like 10 points a
yeah.
game.
So if you're looking at it mathematically, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the way they play and the chemistry and everything, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
More so in the second unit than the
Right.
first.
And this brings us to the bench, right? Because what I think is going to be the bench for the Knicks tonight is Derrick Rose, McBride, Sims, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So the numbers that you see on the screen right now, it's not going to be, this unit is probably not giving you these numbers. 35 points a game, probably not. Unless McBride, Derrick Rose goes off and has, 15. I don't even know if he'll play enough minutes. You know what I'm saying? He may not even play enough minutes. Deuce, maybe unless he gets hot and hits a couple of threes, so here he goes again. Isaiah, what is going on? If you're gonna be on your
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie.
just put yourself on mute.
I thought I was muted, man. My fault.
Put yourself on mute. It's not a hard thing.
It's this generation, man. You know they gotta check TikTok every 15 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna say I don't want to get him in trouble, so I'm not gonna say what he probably was looking at, but IG or wherever, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say what he was probably looking at. But anyway.
I was on a Christian site. I was on a church app.
Right. We know all about it. We know all about it. D Rose, Miles McBride, Jericho Sims, Isaiah Hartenstein. They're probably not giving you 35 points. They might still give you 18 rebounds. Between Hart, Sims, McBride, and Rose, adding a couple of rebounds in there. They normally average about 8.3 assists. Deuce, he's getting more comfortable out there and being able to find people. So you still might get those assists. You might get those steals. You might get the blocks. I mean, the rest of the numbers might be the same. The scoring output is going to be the difference, most likely. You're muted, Tony.
My bad. I think the best option really is to start Rose. Because isn't IQ like a high rebounder as well?
He does rebound
coming
well.
off the bench.
Well.
You know what I mean? So it's just a lot to supplement if he's not in that second unit. You know what I mean? Like because the rebounds are gonna have you got to make up for his rebounds too. You know what I mean? Like and then I don't know how many assists he averaged. I don't think it's very high, but I know he rebounds very well, especially for a guard.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. He rebounds well.
He might be top 5 on a team, top 4 on a team. I know at one point he was.
Yeah. For the Chicago Bulls, Kobe White, Derek Jones Jr., Dragic, and Andre Drummond. Right? So obviously Andre Drummond is a guy. It's crazy. 4 years ago, Andre Drummond was in an all-star conversation. Now you barely hear about Andre Drummond. He was looking for a big contract, this and that. You barely hear about Andre Drummond now.
I think that's more because the Bulls aren't winning though. Because early in the season, they you know what I mean, when the season first started, he had some good games, and I heard about it, and they was talking about maybe this is the piece, you know what I mean, a piece they needed. The fact that they not winning. I mean, I don't know what he's averaging and what his numbers are or anything like that. I will say this though. I don't want anybody but Sims on him You know what I mean?
There you
Like,
go. There you go.
Don't try to put Hartenstein on him.
I mean, Andre Drummond right now, I mean, a far cry from what it used to be. Far cry. 6.9 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. And he's averaging 14 minutes a game. It's crazy. That's crazy.
He's going to get utilized more than that tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe.
Man, that's crazy because just a few years ago in Cleveland, he was averaging 17.5 points and 13.5 rebounds per game. But it's his style of play that is hurting him, right? That style of play. But he's still a guy that, can come in and rebound the ball, and be big down low. So, yeah, it'll be a battle down there between Jericho Sims and Andre Drummond. It's going to be like the clash of the Titans down there. You know what I'm saying? But that's the bench units, ladies and gentlemen. And as far as the team comparison, right now, both teams, the Knicks are 14-13 in the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Chicago Bulls are 11-15, and they are in the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. 113.8 points per game for the Knicks, 47 rebounds, 23 assists, 7 steals, 4.5 blocks, 14 turnovers. They shoot 45% from the field and just about 32% from three, and 80% from the free throw line. The Bulls, 113.3 points per game, 43 rebounds a game, probably because they shoot better than the Knicks. That's the reason why they, don't average as many rebounds. 25 assists, 7.8 steals, 5.2 blocks, 14.7 turnovers. They shoot 47.7% from the field and 36.2% from three, while shooting 82.2% from the free throw line. Nothing really stands out to me that says, oh, man, we got to fear this team because of this reason or that reason. They shoot the ball better than the Knicks, 47%. They shoot 36% from the three-point line. It's not crazy, but we know that they can shoot it. Anything, Isaiah, stand out to you with the numbers I just read?
I just wanted to say, yo, back it's time. I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
My daughter's out of school, but Knicks 105.99.
All right.
And we keep them under 100 again.
No doubt. I take that.
Appreciate you, Stim. Isaiah,
you, bro.
Chat. We out.
All right. Peace. Isaiah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any thoughts on those numbers?
Numbers look great.
You wasn't paying attention. See that? This guy, just like in school back in the day. Just like in school. The Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, are 6-4 in their last 10. The Bulls are 5-5 in their last 10. All right, in the last 10 games, the Knicks are averaging 116 points per game, 49 rebounds, 23 assists. They're shooting 46.5% from the field and 32.5% from the three-point line. A little bit better, but the Bulls, they're averaging 117.8 points per game, still just about 44 rebounds, about 26 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 37% from the three-point line. This is over the last 10 games, ladies and gentlemen. So the Bulls are shooting better from that three-point line over the last few games, which can be scary, right? Because we know how the Knicks have defended the three-point line, although in the last 5 games, the Knicks have done a good job defending the three-point line. The last 4 to 5 games, they've been on point, probably with the added defensive pressure or presence of Quentin Grimes and Deuce McBride. You know what I'm saying? Any thoughts on that, Isaiah? Those numbers. Now, hopefully you were paying attention. The numbers that I just read.
No, so I know that was no. So Sim, I really do think that the Knicks will win this game because, again, right, the Bulls have a better shooting split of numbers, but they just haven't been closing out games. like you said, they just haven't been closing out games despite them having a good shooting, almost 50% from the field, and all these type of things. It's just their defense. And they don't have a lot of good solid defenders on their team right now. The loss of Alonzo Ball really, really did hurt them a lot.
That hurts them a whole lot.
Yeah, so I think the Knicks have a high chance, even though we're not shooting the three really well. This team does not defend. Start from from their shooting guard to pretty much their center, they don't defend. So the Knicks have a huge advantage in that way. So we should take advantage of that. Again, you just can't. So,
I hate to do it to you.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I really do hate to do it to you. You want me to do it?
Let's do it, man.
The Chicago Bulls have a defensive rating of 110.8, and that's 7th in the league.
Damn. Why the hell they losing? Anyways,
the Knicks' defensive rating is 111. I'm sorry, it's 111.4, and that's 11th in the league.
Wow, so they have a better. So yeah, again, they just haven't been close to games.
I hate to do that to you, but
yeah, man,
it had to be done. It had to be done. Sorry.
It's okay, sir. But again, they haven't just been playing well. I mean, the numbers. If you look at the numbers against them on paper, you'll think they're a top 5 team in the East. But they just haven't been closing games. So I think the Knicks still really do have to take advantage of this team right now, and them not closing games and them not defending at the high level recently. So, yeah.
Are you sure? Recently?
Okay, so just go on to the next thing.
I'm just asking you if you're sure.
I'm 75% confident.
Okay. Well, over the last 10 games, they are 12th in the league in defensive rating.
Okay. That's not bad.
All right, 110.6, but you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams tied at the 6th at 6 for defensive rating. That includes the Knicks.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
thank you, Sim, for
it's hard to, I guess, really put a stamp on why they're not winning. I guess it's probably just not closing close games, closing out the close ones.
I mean, Sim, you had a game, I think against the Hawks, they just lost by a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, and maybe during that time, maybe during those fourth quarters, whatever it is, during those clutch minutes, they can't get the stops that they need. But whatever it is, they're not getting the stops now, right? Their record is 11-15 on the season. I'm not going to sit here and say the Bulls are just out of it, though.
No.
Right? They have some veteran guys on the team. They have talent on that basketball team. They're not out of it, and they could easily make a run. The Eastern Conference is so jumbled up. Even though the Bulls are 11-15, they're one game out of the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. And they're just 2.5 games out of the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. And that's the Knicks at the 6th seed. So if the Knicks win tonight, both teams can do themselves a favor, right? If the Bulls beat the Knicks, they gain a game on the Knicks, right? If the Knicks beat the Bulls, the Knicks widen the gap between them and the 11th seed. So,
let's keep it pushing, man.
And then, looking at who else is playing tonight, because behind the Knicks, the Hawks are 14-14, the Pacers are 14-14, the Raptors are 13-14, and Miami, they're 13-15. And who's playing tonight? The Pacers play the Golden State Warriors tonight. Both teams are 14-14. The Hawks play the Orlando Magic. Good chance they win. The Raptors play the Sacramento Kings. That could be a tight one. The Kings are 14-12. The Raptors are 13-14. The Heat, they play the Thunder tonight. Right? So, listen, if the Knicks win, they stay in the 6th seed. Bottom line. If they lose, now they got to depend on other people. Go out and win, and you stay where you're at.
Yep. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Go out and win, and you stay where you're at. So, we'll see what happens tonight. What's your predictions on tonight?
I'm going to go I'm going to go 104.
You don't have to give me points, just wins or loss.
Knicks win.
Because, it's going to take you a long time to think of numbers.
First of all, I was going to say 104 to 97.
Okay. All right. Yeah, look how long it took you to get that 97 out. I think the Knicks win tonight. I'm not predicting any score. It's almost today's NBA is so up and down.
You never
don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
First of all, I remember when the Knicks beat the Cavs, everybody was shocked at the score. They was like, what was this, 2000 basketball?
Yeah, when they played the Jazz, I thought it was going to be a high scoring game, and it wasn't. It's so up and down.
The OKC game was like the highest scoring game of the season.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they lost it. They gave up 145 points or whatever it was. You know what I mean? But this is a different team, we think, right now. I think they understand what they need to do defensively. They still haven't learned themselves totally, and I don't think they've fully established an identity, but it's on the way. It's happening. They're working on it. You know what I mean? So we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be on after the game tonight, about 10:15 or so. So make sure you join us on the post-game show. Isaiah will not be on because he'll be sleeping. I'm pretty positive for that.
You know what, Sim? I'm gonna watch tonight. I got you.
He said the last time he was on the game preview, he said, "Watch tonight. I'll be on," and he didn't come on. Don't worry,
Sim,
he won't be on tonight.
I guarantee tonight
he won't be on.
Wait, what time the game start?
See, look at it. He don't even know what time. The game starts at 7:30.
What time it ends? 9:30.
The game is going to end about 10:15.
Oh, crap. I'll be up.
Right. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we'll have the post-game show. Join us on the post-game show. I'm pretty positive Tony Crow is going to be there. This guy probably won't be there.
I'm going to be there, man.
But we will break down tonight's game. Hopefully it's a win. So make sure you join us. Also, if you want to join NBK on January 13th in Washington, D.C. for the Knicks versus the Wizards. There's a link pinned to the top of your YouTube chat. It's also in the description of this video. Make sure you fill it out because I will be reaching out to people this week to purchase those tickets and all of that. So if you're interested, you got the day off, whatever it is, make sure you fill out that link right there, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I'm out of here, and I'll see you later on tonight, about 10:15. And in the meantime, I'm going to throw an ad up on the screen. Do me a favor, just watch the ad. Then after the ad, my intro or outro is going to be on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. You know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.